Hey everyone, this is Scott from Forgot to Grow Up. Welcome to our Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. series finale thoughts video. Just finished watching the two-part season finale for the final season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and I'm just going to be sharing my general thoughts on the episode. So in this two-part episode, we got the conclusion to this final season, and we also got the kind of wrapping up of the show, and I thought they did a really great job with bringing the show to a conclusion, bringing in all the little loose ends that have been brought up throughout this season and throughout the show, and kind of giving them a nice little tie. Well, maybe not all of them, but enough of them that I thought this was a very fitting ending, a great ending for a great show. I obviously would have loved for this show to keep going, or for us to get some kind of spin-off with any of the characters. That being said, I understand how it doesn't exactly quite fit in the MCU's plan anymore, but that's still a little disappointing to me because I've always loved this show, and I thought this series finale did a really great job of giving it a fitting send-off, being able to play with some of the throwbacks of the show, the 084s and different things like that, the different ties to the first and few seasons, and just mentioning different characters. And I just really enjoyed it overall, and just thought they did a really great job of wrapping up what's been 7 years now of just a really great show that's had its ups and downs in at least the mainstream popularity, and whether it's actually tied to the MCU or not. It's been a very kind of tentative thing. It did start off as this show that was supposed to fill in the gaps, and then it slowly morphed into its own thing. But I think it was great and did a really great job of finding its own footing over the year and finding its own unique place in the superhero shows and the comic book shows of the day. Some of the things I liked about this episode, spoiler alert for those who haven't seen the episode completely yet, so again, spoilers. One of the things I love is that we do finally get Fitz in this episode, and finally comes back, and we get to spend the whole two-part episode with him to kind of make up for the fact that we haven't seen him all season. We finally get to learn about what was going on with him and Gemma, and surprise, surprise, they had a kid while they were off doing their, doing all the plans that pretty much put this season into motion. And so that was a fun little kind of reveal, and something that I both kind of suspected but also didn't entirely think about, because I like how they were kind of playing it off as more like, oh, is Fitz maybe dead? That was the kind of way they were kind of shifting the focus, so they didn't think about the fact that maybe they were just, had a kid and decided to, take a little time before they traveled through time. And so I just really enjoyed that kind of reveal. I enjoyed seeing more of the characters kind of coming to terms with the fact that they all kind of know this is going to be the last time they're all together and in the same room as is pointed out to them, which I thought was really fun. Again, spoilers for this whole episode. But it was just a really fun way to tie it into the end, where you're just like, oh no, they're never going to be in the same room again? What? And then they find a, fun way around that in the end of the episode, with having the whole team kind of reunite with the meeting with a via the hologram Zoom call, in a sense. And so I just really enjoyed this whole episode for just the way it just tied it, and just a really great job of tying off the ends of all these characters' stories, at least amongst S.H.I.E.L.D. That's one thing that Mac talked about in one of these last episodes was, people go through phases in your life, and this is the end of their Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. phase. But this particular phase, meaning this team being all together, some of them are still Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And I really love the ending where we see that they're all still doing things that are very, based on what their characters would do, or where their characters have ended up, especially May and Coulson, where they've kind of come to now and all the changes they've gone through. But I really enjoy the way we leave them all off in a way where it's not a cliffhanger. It's just a fun kind of, this is the end of the chapter that we got to see of their lives. Hopefully we get to see a few more little snippets and some kind of thing. I really hope we get some kind of spin-off. I'd be even fine with an animated spin-off, even though I watch no animated Marvel shows or movies whatsoever. But I would if they did a Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. spin-off. And I know there's some stuff with Quake, and I'll eventually get to that on Disney+. But my point is that these characters, and these actors in particular, playing these characters, just have such a great chemistry and such a great bond that I would love to see pretty much any of them. We did see them all go off into their own little groups. So if any, I would love some kind of fun series where maybe you just follow one, or maybe we bounce between them all. I just want more Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but I always want more Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but that's, I think, the sign of a great show and a great ending to a show where they leave you wanting more, but at the same time not leave you kind of like, I need more, if that makes sense, where it's like if it was some annoying cliffhanger, then I'd be a little bit like, if they ended where they were about to go fight Thanos or something like that, then I'd be like, no guys, you can't do that. But I like the way this one ended, where they're just all right off heading on to their next missions or the next chapters of the next phases. So I really enjoyed the way this ended off, despite, not being able to see where they all end up, but maybe they'll do a comic book series that I'll be able to follow along with them. But yeah, that's pretty much all my thoughts on this series finale. Like I said, I just really love this show. There's so many things I could say, but I've made literally hundreds of videos on this show. So I'm just going to kind of keep this one a little more brief, because I might start crying if I talk too much about the fact that it's at an end. But definitely this is a show that's now entered the kind of category that I like to classify as one of my go-to rewatch show, especially now that it's completely finished. It's a nice one to have as a complete, like, you just throw it on when you're maybe cooking or something like that. Shows that I have like that right now are like Supernatural, Stargate and stuff like that. So now it's going to just fall into that category. So it's not going to completely disappear from my life, but there will be no new S.H.I.E.L.D., at least for now. We'll see what Disney does. But that's just all my thoughts on the series finale of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Sure, let me know in the comments below what you guys thought about the series finale and what you thought about the series overall, just some of your general thoughts. I'm always curious to hear other people's thoughts on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. But thanks again for joining me today. Sure, subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Have a good one.